What a inconvenience, man. I keep calling, and I can't get any response from nobody in Jamaica. Eh? What a inconvenience. The people them say them not have no light, them not have no water. They're feeling around in the dark. Boy, this old girl and Melissa really wreak havoc in Jamaica. How many thousand people have here seek shelter across the island? Hmm? Remember in Gilbert when we didn't have electricity and now, mind you, we did have fun in the dark. We did have fun. But me realize that this storm come to kill, steal, and destroy. So far, they say 7 people died. And it is plain to be seen that this storm target the western regions of Jamaica. And I can see why. Because those regions are tourist destinations. This storm is very smart. Imagine this storm made landfall 40 miles west of Mandeville, and then Montego Bay experienced a powerful gust. You know? What the Minister of Local Government is saying, that him say over 600,000 people is affected by this weather. No, the house is blow down. And what he's saying is their bread basket. And now the storm devastate the entire economy. You know, in St. Elizabeth, they rely on agriculture, you know, and the capital of St. Elizabeth is Black River. So my heart bleeds for that place, I'm telling you. They say Black River is totally destroyed. School, fire station, you know, just like the storm attack the infrastructure of Jamaica. My God. This is how I know that this hurricane really come with a vengeance. When it touched down in Jamaica, you know, it went through a period of rapid intensification, a fast threatening phase. That's what they said. Hurricane Melissa made a landfall as a devastating Category 5 in Jamaica, with sustained winds of 185 miles per hour, ripping off roofs, flipping over cars, you know? So Jamaica really get the full blunt. The full blunt. And then what upset me today now, me hear the CBN reporter say, oh, Melissa ripped through Jamaica, and then the landfall in Cuba was only 115 miles per hour as a Category 3. Then how it arrived in Cuba as a Category 3 storm, but it tear up Jamaica as a Category 5. Then Hurricane Melissa is heading now to the Bahamas after making landfall in Cuba at 75 miles per hour. This is mistake. And then they say by Friday, it will be in Bermuda at a Category 2 storm. So why Category 5 in Jamaica? Why? You see how I know that something is wrong? Jamaica belongs to a larger group of larger islands in the Caribbean Sea known as the Greater Antilles, right? And these Antilles lie in the northwestern Caribbean Sea and form the northern boundary of the Caribbean Sea. You understand? Jamaica is prone to storm. Everybody know that. And its features and the location, the fact that we have all these hills, the Blue Mountain and all that, is supposed to offer an edge of protection. You know, but I think because Jamaica is the world's leading producer of bauxite, you know, that's the primary place where they make aluminum. And this resource is a major contributor to the country's economy. You know, it's an agricultural region. They got fertile soils which support the crops, sugar cane, bananas, coffee, citrus, and vegetables. Anyway, like I was saying, it is my opinion that climate change have a lot to do with it, because there was a coverage that I was listening to on the BBC News, and Michael Taylor, climate scientist from the University of the West Indies in Jamaica, he said that, in his own words, he said, for us as a Caribbean climate scientists, they see what is called the imprints, which signatures of storms in a global warming area. Certainly, the Caribbean Sea is usually warm 1 to 2 degrees warmer than average. Now, the warm extends to quite a bit, once you've got that warm and depth, you not only have atmospheric moisture, you have fuel. And they're seeing it play out in many different ways. So the rapid intensification that we see with this storm, the same thing with Gilbert as a category 3, Beryl as a category 3. Now they're seeing category 5, which is the most notorious storm Jamaica has ever seen. So now they're really coming to terms with the fact that it's actually to do with climate change. So these are strong imprints of climate change, just as I anticipated. A lot of people are not aware of climate change and what it is, so I'm just going to be brief and tell you what I summarize. It refers to a long-term change in the Earth's average weather patterns, including temperatures, the wind, precipitation, and so forth. It is largely driven by human experiences and activities that increase greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane in the atmosphere. Now, these gases trap heat, leading to a warmer planet. In short, climate change is a significant shift in the Earth's climate system due primarily to human activities with widespread environmental and societal impact. So the key points about climate change is the fact that global warming, the average temperature of the earth is rising, extreme weather, what we're seeing now, more frequent and severe events like heat waves, storm, floods, and drought. They're advising us that, we turn off lights and electronics when we're not using them, use energy efficiently and appliances and LED lights, bulbs, insulate your homes to reduce heating and cooling needs, renewable energy, if possible, switch to renewable energy. Energy sources such as solar or wind power, a lot of people are using solar power nowadays for their homes, which is much better. And invest in clean energy, which is generated from sources that produce little or no harmful emissions or pollutants. This will minimize the environmental impact, so these sources of renewables are, low carbon footprint, helping to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and combat climate change, okay? Yeah, man. So I've been looking deeply into this, and I understand that Jamaica cannot prevent hurricanes, because since these are natural weather phenomena driven by large-scale atmospheric and oceanic conditions, there are several important steps the country can take to reduce the impact of hurricanes and enhance resilience. So this is all to do with the government. This is what the government need to put in place: early warning systems, disaster preparedness. They need to develop regular updates, infrastructure resilience, make sure they build retrofitted homes, school, hospital. You so much school and hospital blow down. Yeah, so retrofitted homes, and make sure the infrastructure is strong enough to withstand the strong winds and flooding. Use hurricane resistant construction material and design. No cheap block and cheap cement and cheap steel. Coastal protection, preserve and restore natural barriers like mangroves, coral reefs, and wetlands that reduce storm surges and coastal erosions. And for the community engagement, we need to empower local communities with knowledge and resources to prepare, respond, and recover from hurricane effectively. So yes, Jamaica is indeed a very large part of the Greater Antilles, and they consist of four. Jamaica consists of one of the four largest Caribbean islands, yeah? But then you have Cuba and you have Hispaniola, which include Haiti and Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico as well. You know, these islands are quite diverse in landscape, including mountains and fertile plains and extensive coastline. These islands are bigger in size in comparison to the smaller islands of the Lesser Antilles, which is like Trinidad and Tobago and St. Kitts and countries like those. You understand? Jamaica is not immune from storms. There's no way they can stop it. But like I said, the measures that I suggested earlier, they need to put those in place so we can prepare for these disastrous conditions. Because normally hurricanes season is like from June to November. So it's all a matter of preparing and, you know, simply put in place measures to make sure that we're safe. And last but not least, like I said before, Jamaica's location, surrounded by the warm water of the Caribbean seas, plays a big role in why it often experiences the full impact of hurricanes. So, you know, some people say that this is a act of God. God want to clean up Jamaica with the wickedness that is happening in Jamaica, and some people says the powers that be that's doing these things. But when it comes to warm water fuel or hurricanes, it draw energy from warm oceans and waters typically above like 26.5 degrees Celsius. This is not enough to keep away tropical storms. The Caribbean Sea warm temperatures provide the ideal conditions for hurricanes to form and strengthen. And that is why we have hurricanes. But like I said, we need to put measures in place. So I hope this is informative, and I hope you are more aware of these tropical storm conditions and that you'll be better prepared next time. So have a blessed day, keep safe, keep warm, and I'll be keeping in touch to find out when the lights return, okay? Jesus is the light of the world, and as long as God is alive, we will have light. All right, my love? Okay, have a blessed day.